Hello, guys. Hello, Mr. Keeling.
Yay!
Hello, Mrs. Penn. The magical hands of Mrs. Penn.
Hello.
I'm very excited because last lesson you were teaching us how to do perspective based on a landscape. Is that right?
That's right.
And if I remember correctly, perspective, let me get this right. If something is closer to you, from your own perspective, your own eyesight, if something is closer to you, it is smaller.
No, Mr. Keeling.
No,
Opposite.
you got it wrong.
How does it work, Mrs. Penn?
Right, if something's closer to you, it will look bigger. If something is further away, it looks smaller.
Right. We can do that by just using our fingers to look at things further away in the room, and we'll see that from our distance, the things that are further away seem smaller, and the things that are closer seem bigger.
Exactly.
Now, we're going to push this whole perspective thing to the next level today. Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to do something that's we're going to do it landscape because it's an image of creatures in the landscape, but we're adding sheep to this picture, and we're going to make.
Does this have to be a? Sorry, Mrs. Penn. Does this have to be a really grand picture, something quite elaborate?
It's not too elaborate, but it's going to be harder than the landscape we did before.
Well, thank you for putting that into perspective for me.
Very funny.
Right, Mrs. Penn, I thought just beforehand we could show the children what we're aiming for. So I'm going to just quickly switch the screen to this. And there, Mrs. Penn, people should be able to see the picture that we're going for, right?
Wow.
Yep, that looks about right.
Excellent.
Now,
right, I'm going to go back to us if that's okay.
That
Right, I'm back to us,
picture
Mrs. Penn.
It's by an artist who's a contemporary artist.
Yeah.
Who actually comes from Middlesbrough, which is the northeast of England.
Yeah.
His name is Mackenzie Thorpe.
And what does contemporary mean?
It means that he's still alive and he still makes art today.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Fantastic. Right.
Okay,
right,
so now, one of the key things about this particular painting is that Mackenzie Thorpe has used a central sort of perspective so that we've got this sort of angle where it gets smaller into where my fingers are meeting, and then it gets bigger as it comes out. So what I'm going to do to start with is really lightly with my pencil just sketch some lines in. So I'm going to just about here, which is above halfway. I'm just going to sketch in just very roughly the shape of, as you can see, that's really roughly and really lightly of where I think that shepherd's going to go.
And is there any tips for creating the shape of the shepherd?
Well, I guess the best way to think of it is look at what he's doing. And it doesn't really matter at this stage, because if you keep it nice and light, you can always rub it out later. And that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping it nice and light.
And this shepherd, does he have a backstory?
I don't know, probably, but I don't know.
I think his name's probably Stephen.
Stephen. I was thinking more of a Alfred.
Oh, and I was thinking of an Alan, so somewhere in between there. We've definitely got the name.
Yeah, I reckon so. And does anyone know what that thing is in his hand?
A crook.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Jordan, that's a criminal.
Oh.
Now, can anyone tell me what that shepherd uses the crook for?
Well, I can guess.
Go on then, have a guess.
Does he use it to sort of channel the sheep and keep them in the right sort of direction, sort of knocking the side so that they're going in the way he wants?
He kind of does, but it's got a hook on the end so that he can actually hook that round a sheep's neck to put it in the right place.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I've got that little figure there.
You've not done his legs, is that right?
No, can't see his legs in the picture.
Right.
So what I'm doing...
a hat in the picture?
I think... Yeah, he's definitely got a hat, but I'm not worrying about that now. I'm not going to worry about detail. I just want to get the outline in. So I'm going to move straight on, and I'm just going to draw a line that's really rough, very light, that comes down here and down here. Okay, now that sort of gives me an idea of where I'm working on. And I might go over that line, I might go inside that line, but I can always rub it out.
Okay. Got you.
Okay, now, normally when I do a drawing, I always say start at the top and move down to the bottom. And the children will know why, but you may not know why. Do you think you know why?
Because... No.
Yeah. No. Right, okay, if you're drawing and you start at the bottom here,
yes,
yeah,
and then move up to the top, what might you do with your drawing?
I know. Smudge it.
Exactly. So normally, if I'm doing a drawing, I try and either start from the middle and work my way out, or I'll start from the top to the bottom. So, but I wanted to get, I've just got these little rough lines on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually start in the middle here, and I'm going to have one big sheep in the middle.
Now, Mrs. Penn, I'm left-handed. Does that mean that I have to start from left to right or right to left?
You'd go from left to right, wouldn't you?
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Right, now I'm going to make this sheep the biggest one, and it's going to be really big because there's only a couple of sheep behind it, so I've got to make it big enough. That's really important. So I'm going to put the top of his head here.
Oh wow, he's really big.
Now, sheep's ears are on the side. So look, I'm doing this quite lightly, but just enough so you can see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Light lines. Now, these sheep have got black heads. So I'm just going to put that line across there where his head goes.
Right.
And then we've got the nose. Now, this is where obviously the sheep breathes. And these sheep don't look like real sheep. They're caricatures of sheep. What do you think that means, Mr. Keeling?
Well, I would take the character part of that word, which sounds a little bit like character, but it also sounds a little bit like carrot. So I would say, and because the nose looks slightly like a carrot, I would say that it's a character that looks like a carrot. Am I correct?
No, you're incorrect. It's to do with if you were writing a story and you had a character in your story, you might want to describe what your character looks like. You might also want to describe what they're like inside, like are they nasty or nice or kind. But when you, what we're doing here is we're doing a caricature, which means we're picking out the most obvious features of a sheep to make it look like a sheep.
And I suppose if it was a piece of writing, you could talk about likes and dislikes, and some of those may be a carrot. So I was kind of right. So
yeah, well, I suppose so. Yeah, all right, you were right.
Do you suppose so, Mrs. Penn?
Right, okay. Next sheep. Before we go off too much on a tangent. Right, okay. This sheep is as big as the other one. I'm actually going to make my ears a bit bigger.
Ooh.
And look, I'm going to go right down to the bottom of my paper here.
Is it okay? Yeah, good. The bottom of my face has gone off the paper, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. You're allowed to do that. And notice I haven't put the eyes in, because we can do that later. Right, now this sheep on the side here, on the left-hand side, is actually going off the page almost. He's one that this shepherd would have to put his crook round its neck and bring it back in, I think.
Oh, he's a naughty sheep, is he?
He's a naughty one.
He's just a bit stupid, I think.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say stupid?
Yeah, it's a good word. It's a well, as long as we don't use it in a mean way, miss.
No, I'm not being mean. But sheep aren't known for their great
They're not
intelligence.
clever. They've got small brains. Unlike pigs, which are very intelligent.
Exactly. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm putting in some other parts of the sheep that I can see. So I can see the back of this sheep. And I can see the back of this sheep. And it comes down. I'm going to make his ears a bit bigger, actually. Don't like those ears. And round here as well. Now I need another sheep now that's right next to this one. I'm going to put him in, or her. So head, ear on the side. Now look, what's happening? I'm making this sheep a little bit what?
Smaller.
Oh, well, smaller, yeah.
Yeah, smaller.
Perspective.
Perspective, yeah. He's getting further away. So I'm making him look a bit smaller.
You've been listening, Mr. Keeling.
What, sorry, Mr. Jordan?
You've been listening, clearly.
Yeah, we're drawing sheep.
Right, now there's a sheep that looks like it's looking at that one just over there. So I'm going to draw him on, or her on. And I can see a bit of his body as well, or her body. And then there's another sheep behind that one. Oh, it is quite complicated, this one, isn't it?
This is definitely not as simple as the other one.
But, you know, one thing I've noticed about Anglesey children, they do like a challenge.
They are very resilient.
Very resilient.
And inquisitive.
And inquisitive.
What's the other one?
Resilient, inquisitive.
Something else. Capable?
Curious?
Functioning? Curious, that'll be it, yeah.
Ow. Hello, Rose. Right, now, the rest of the sheep that are behind this, they just start getting smaller and smaller, basically. So I've got one here. Made that ear look bigger than the other one. And I've got another one that's behind that. I can just see there where his body goes. There's one here. And you notice I'm getting smaller and smaller. Every time I go back, I'm making the sheep look smaller and smaller.
Oh, I keep doing it about the same size.
Yeah, you've got to keep that in mind all the time, that every time you go back, your sheep are getting further away from you and are getting smaller. Now, obviously, if children are doing this with us, as they are, you know, they can stop, they can pause, and they can have a look at what they've done and think, oh no, I want to change that. And if they've got a rubber, they can.
Yeah.
They're actually the children are actually luckier than us.
Why is that, miss? Oh, because they
Because,
can keep pausing.
yeah, we can't do that. I've got to get this all done, whether it's rubbish or not. Now, there's one sheep over here. I spotted him, and he's actually looks like he's one of those ones that's going to wander off.
Oh, a naughty sheep.
A naughty sheep there. So I'm going to get him in. Oh, that's a bit not the best sheep, Mrs Penn.
Might we have Sean the sheep here as well?
Yeah, well, Sean the sheep looks a bit like these sheep, don't you think?
It does a bit, actually.
Right, now,
The sheep.
the sheep that are way back are even smaller, so I've got to make them real. Like, there's one here that's just behind this one, and he's tiny. His head's so small. Oh, I'll just have to bend over, just have to closely look at the picture because his head is so small.
Now, Mrs Penn, we're kind of going off your picture because we haven't constantly got the other picture. That doesn't matter.
That's all. No. You can see what I'm doing, so that's...
We're doing a copy of a copy.
We're doing a copy of a copy, yeah. Of a copy, probably. So, yeah, I've got some more sheep. Oh.
How are you getting on, Mr Keeling?
I'm doing okay. I was singing Old Bear in my head while I was drawing. You know that.
Yeah, you can sing it out loud if you want.
Old bear, we'll all gather round. Dear old bear, sit in your favourite chair. We'll all gather round. All around you, old bear. You know that one.
Right, I'm going to do something else now because I'm getting really close to where the shepherd is. And what I want to bear in mind here is that those sheep, if you look right close, you can't see, but they're faded.
Right.
Because the sheep, although they're getting further away, they're also fading. You can't see them as well because this is probably a misty moor, not Mr. Moore.
No.
A misty moor.
The chess man, Mr Moore.
Yeah, the chess man. Very good at chess, Mr. Moore.
He's very good. He's got some good videos out there, miss.
Yeah, I know. But I haven't watched them all myself because I don't really play chess much. But I know he used to run. Does he still run chess club at school?
He does, which is open to people to join if they want to.
Oh, brilliant! That'd be great, wouldn't it? Right, can you see how we're beginning to build up our picture now?
Yes. I'm worried that they're all blind.
Yeah, that's because we haven't put the shading in yet. So don't worry. Okay. They won't be blind in a minute.
Phew.
And where do I put the bear?
Your bear?
Yeah, because you said that you were going to put a bear in mine.
Oh, Mr. Keeling.
Yeah?
No.
We'll just put him on a thumbs down, I think, because he's just being naughty.
Oh, gosh. Can I provide a thumbs down through this system?
I don't know. What do you
I
reckon?
can raise my hand. I'm lowering it now. No, that's not doing it. It has a kind of spiritual feel to it, miss.
Spiritual?
With those sort of clouds in the background.
I think, yeah, I know what you mean, but I think if you've ever been into the countryside and like at night time or when the sun's setting or when the sun's coming up, there is a kind of an eeriness in the air. And if you've ever seen sheep in the mist and whatever, they do look, you know, it does look quite, well, I suppose spiritual. Yeah, that's not a bad word.
Yes.
Now, I'm deciding whether to put another one just here or not. What do you think?
I actually put one there already.
Oh, have you? That's fine. I think I'm going to do that as well because it just, I'm making it up, obviously, because it's not on the picture. But that doesn't matter either because we're just giving an impression of something that Mackenzie Thorpe might do. So we could say this is a drawing inspired by contemporary artist Mackenzie Thorpe.
Love it. You know, in year 3 we're doing biography writing, and it'd be quite interesting to get a biography on Mackenzie Thorpe.
Well, actually, he's a very interesting man. I have met him.
Oh
wow.
Yes. He used to have a gallery in Richmond in North Yorkshire, and I was in there one day and happened to meet him. And he's he didn't do very well at school because he had dyslexia.
Ah.
But then he started to get into art.
Right.
Amazing, isn't it? That, you know, with contemporary art, there's still the chance to go and see these people and meet these people and learn from them the inspiration behind their images.
That's right. And a lot of his other work is actually all based in the city of Middlesbrough, and street scenes.
Oh wow.
Of people, you know, going around their normal business. Right, I'm going to start shading in my shepherd a little bit more now. I like the way he's got his hand out. It's almost like he's guiding them along with his hand. And there's just a little hint of white where his face is. So I'm going to leave that in. Oh, I don't know what that was.
Oh, he's pretty dark. Oh gosh. Okay.
There's a little bit of a hint of some light going on his jacket. I suppose he's probably wearing like a big waterproof coat, isn't he?
Yeah. And wellies. We can't
Definitely wellies. Now I'm going to use some of my tricks here because I've got a lot of black. So, you know, before when we were doing the trees and I left little white lines in between the trees.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do that a little bit with my sheep because otherwise they're all, especially where their heads are black, it's all going to end up looking like one big mass of black. But when I get to that, well, I'll show you when I'm doing it. How are you guys getting on? You doing all right?
Yeah. I'm well, where you are.
Sheep.
Been a bit naughty and skipped ahead a little bit and done a bit of the clouds as well.
Oh, you can do that, yeah. Right, I'm going to go straight into the sheep now. Okay.
Yeah.
And the sheep that are in the background, I'm not going to be pressing quite so hard because they're so far away that they are, do you remember I talked about this earlier? They almost look grey. Okay. So I'm not pressing quite so hard with those because they're further away. Oh! Just done that one. What have I done wrong? Oh, I know what I've done wrong, but I bet you don't. Forgotten to put the eyes in.
Oh, yeah, the eyes.
Now, when you shade them, just leave. Yeah. If you draw a little circle for the eyes, like I'm doing there, look. And then shade around the eyes. There. Can you see you've still got the eyes then?
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to do with this one. Put the eyes on. Can't see very well actually because I've got to sharpen my pencil a little bit here. Mine's getting a little bit blunt. So put the eyes on, shade around the eyes, so you can see a little bit of a white sparkle in the eyes. Now what I'm doing with the rest of the sheep's body, I'm just looking at, quite weird actually, but you've got more shading on the top,
Right.
and then they get lighter towards the bottom. Now I wonder why Mackenzie Thorpe did that. I think I know actually. Why do you think?
Does it add some sort of depth to it? Like,
Yeah, well, normally, normally if you think about it, the light would be on the top of the sheep, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would get darker towards the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So why do you think he's done that?
Torch. There's a torch down at the bottom.
What, a torch on the floor, Mr. Keeling?
Torch on the floor that's shining light towards them.
No.
Is it because the sun is either setting or rising and it's down on the horizon?
No.
Is it for fun?
No, it's a trick.
Oh.
Now, a bit like when I was leaving the little white line in between my trees, what Mackenzie Thorpe has done is, to make his sheep stand out, he's made them darker on the top and lighter at the bottom. Now that way, when you look at the painting, obviously he's done this in either acrylic or oil paints, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. But as you get to the bottom, if I show you now on the one I'm doing now, it means that they don't merge in together. It's the same little artist trick.
Oh gosh, I see. Like your trees, that makes sense.
Yeah.
My eyes do not look as good as yours. Oh well.
To be honest, I can't see mine very well because I've got light shining in through the window and it's sort of glaring off my page, so I don't know how good this looks, to be honest. I'm just kind of guessing.
Looks lovely.
Perhaps if I turn my light off, maybe that will help. Oh, that does help. See, this is quite a long haul paint drawing, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It requires a certain level of patience, I was going to say. What were you saying, Mr. Keeling?
I was just saying, you know, my hand at the minute is actually starting to ache from working on this. Is there any tips that we have for?
Well, what I do with the children when we're shading some, if their hands start, I just tell them to give it a shake, like that, and that will help. But I'm afraid it's an artist's problem.
Old achy hand syndrome.
Yeah.
Poor artists.
You can get cramp in your hands as well.
No gain without pain, right?
Exactly, that's right. And sometimes when you're doing a picture, it gets to a point where, as an artist, you sort of feel almost like, oh, this is getting a bit boring now. And that's because you've got to do the same thing over and over again. But, you know, it's a bit like writing, isn't it? You know,
yeah,
writing.
I was thinking learning times tables. It's not, you don't just get it right, do you, first time?
No, you have to just keep going, don't you? And it's the same with everything that we have to learn. There is a boring point. As much as we try to make it interesting.
But it's worth it in the end.
And that's what you have to concentrate on, is the end result.
Well, I'm starting to be happy with what I've got.
Are you? I'm reasonably happy with what I've got. keep going towards, don't just follow it all the way down, as you'll get smudging. So I've done this side now, so I'm going to work on this side. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with lots of little smudges, which I'm trying to avoid. Do you think you could paint this?
With the right equipment and time.
Yeah, you could. Now, if anyone wanted to have a go at painting this, they could. I could do a painting of it online, but I'm not sure how many children have got paints at home.
I'm not either. Don't know.
What do you think the hardest bit of this is?
I think persisting with it.
Persisting.
Is that the hard bit? Or just the... I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Keeling?
The art.
The art of it.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah.
I can't wait to see them at the end.
No,
I think you can, Mrs. Penn.
What do you think is the hardest bit, Mrs. Penn?
I think probably this bit when it's like you know what you're doing and you're repeating the same thing over again.
Yeah.
And you're finding it, you're thinking, I just want to get it done.
I suppose at points you might want to give up if you don't think it's looking that good. And I suppose at those times you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, you do. You have to believe in yourself, because otherwise, you'd never get anything in life, would you?
No, you don't want to be sheepish all your life, do you?
Sheepish.
No.
At some point, you've just got to do your own thing, stand out from the herd.
Oh, very nice.
Or, be one in a million and not just follow the flock.
I suppose when it comes down to it, it's really up to you.
Hello! You rammed that joke in, didn't you? Any more? I'm enjoying this part.
It's a bit of a woolly situation.
Oh, yes.
Sheep.
Hey, that was a good one.
Oh, dear. Right, now I'm doing my little magic line here because I don't want this sheet that's at the front to mould into the one at the back. So if you look there, can you see I've left a white line?
Right.
And I'm going to put the eyes on before I start shading.
I'm really hoping that... Go on, Mrs. Penn, sorry.
I was going to say, I hope you've all made these curves look nice, so where the black starts on the sheep and not just a straight line.
Yes.
Good.
I want the children to send these in. I'm really excited to see this.
I want to see these as well. I'll have to start getting some little rewards for when we go back for the best sheep drawing.
We could have a lockdown art wall, couldn't we? Because I've had some amazing art coming in.
Have you?
Oh my goodness, yes, you should see some of it. It's fantastic.
I've seen a couple of elephants that were made.
Been some great elephants. Have you seen those Eid stars we've been making? The NHS
Oh
stars?
yeah. Some children have been making those.
Really good. I've seen some good faces being drawn.
Really? See, I haven't because I don't have access to. You'll have to send them on to me.
I will.
What are you giggling at, Mr. Keeling?
No, it was me. I saw. I have a photo of Mr. Keeling with me, which I saw, and it made me giggle.
That's understandable. Has anyone got any good jokes?
Oh.
Yes. Mrs. Penn, say knock knock.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Hey.
Mrs. Penn.
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Penn who?
Pen. No. Ooh, sheep pen.
Hey.
Oh.
Hold it back around.
That was one we hadn't got.
Mr. Keeling, I've got one for you.
All right.
Knock knock.
Knock knock.
Yeah, no, I'm saying knock knock. Knock knock.
No, yeah, knock knock.
Okay, Mrs. Penn, I've got one for you.
All right, go on then.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
I need a.
I need a who? Oh,
Let it go then. Gee.
that was gross.
That's the highlight of my, Oh. Right, Mrs. Penn, how we? Oh wow, you make such a deep black.
Well, I'm trying. I've probably got a better pencil than you, to be fair. Or I could just say it's because you're not as good as me.
Oh.
I think that would probably be accurate.
I'm not. No, I wouldn't say that.
Wouldn't say, but we
think. Yeah.
Can you see how easy it is, though?
Yeah, it's really it's easy. It looks. It's just the time, isn't it? But what I can see is something really good is starting to come out of this. It's like cooking, isn't it? You spend so long preparing and getting stuff ready. Your dads will all know about that. But when you get to the end, you get something magical.
Yeah, but then it only takes 5 minutes to eat it, which I always find very depressing.
Whereas with this, you've got it for life, haven't you?
Yeah, you keep this forever on your bedroom wall.
Oh.
Okay, I think I've done that phase.
All right, I'm on. I've just got a couple more to do now. I did say this one would take longer, didn't I?
You did.
But I suppose the children can always skip through it once they've worked out what they're doing.
Well, I think Mr. Jordan is actually quite good at editing, and he's going to add some time-lapse software to this, so it'll cut through it quite quickly in certain sections.
I haven't once
and then slow down for the rest
video
of it. So
that I've released. This is not getting any editing care. There's going to just be a lot of dead time on it. That's why. I might just keep the video running for an hour after we've finished as well.
And don't forget to like and subscribe, and use that bell icon.
The bell icon. It's so important. The bell icon.
And then
What
you'll
is
get
that?
you'll get
No, but you watch these videos and
notifications.
they always bang on about pressing the bell. Always saying touch the bell for, I don't know what it does. I think it notifies you when a new video is being popped up.
That's correct. So you'll be aware, children, of when all our new videos go live, and then you can head over to youtube.co.uk in the web bar address, which is, I believe, the cool term for it, the web bar address, and then you can surf those nets. And once you surf those nets, you can watch some vids.
Some good online educational vids.
Do these come on to the Anglesey website as well?
Not usually, no.
I don't know how that. No, not sure. I do. Yes, I post it on my year group, miss. But I think children just access it via YouTube anyway. That's just an easier way to do things.
Good.
Websites are so like old school now, miss.
Are they?
Yeah, it's all about kites and stuff. I don't know.
Kites?
I don't know. I've got no idea what the kids are doing.
Moshi Monsters was a thing, right?
Is it Moshi Monsters? Is that the thing? What about those
No,
little
that was
eggs that you
years
crack
ago.
and you get gel in them? You get
Those were Hatchimals. No, those.
Hatchimals.
Yeah.
Those are popular.
Yeah.
And there's that card-based statistic game that children seem to like.
What's that?
Maths.
Match attacks.
Oh. I don't really know. My children are too old now, so I don't really know what the younger children are into. But
yo-yos.
Yes.
It's all about yo-yos.
when I was at school, it was all about clackers.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember those?
I know of them. I wasn't at school when they were a thing. I think they were banned by the time I was in school. They were quite dangerous, weren't they?
Yeah, I suppose they were, but
the little balls on a string that you bang, 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 bang.
That's right. Yeah.
Back in my day, it was Pogs came back for a little
while.
I was on the playground. Pogs.
Pokemon
cards. I was a teacher when Pogs came out.
Then there was yo-yos, like you said, Mr. Jordan. Because they just didn't put gears in them for the first time, hadn't they?
So you could do that sleeper move, couldn't you?
Yeah, no, I think I only ever learned like around the world.
Yeah, I did the rocking baby, or rock the baby maybe.
But it was cool to do all these tricks. But then everyone got a yo-yo, and then nobody wanted them anymore.
Do you know when I was little, we used to play with conkers?
Oh, conkers!
Yeah, we still played with conkers. We used to soak them in vinegar so that they were really hard.
And cook them in the oven for a bit.
I went to the national conker competition thing, the World Conker Championships. It's not too far away from Peterborough. I don't know whether they still do it, but that was a good day out.
My goodness. I was never that keen.
Well, yeah.
Right, that's it. I'm not doing it anymore. I've had enough. No, I haven't had enough, but I think that's... I could do a little bit on the sky, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, some of these sheep need to just be a little bit blacker here.
So what do we do with the cloud effect, Mrs. Penn?
Right, well, that's going to be quite tricky. You could, I think, if we started off with... Let me just have a look at the picture, because obviously the picture is quite... Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, see, in the picture, you've got this kind of circular, as if it's like, you know, these sheep are appearing.
This is why I thought it looked a bit spiritual.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm putting some of those lines on, and then I might shade them in a bit. Now, I'm very aware, though, that because I've got all this really dark stuff down here, if I start leaning over it, I'm going to smudge it. So what I might do is do it upside down. Now, I'm going to turn mine upside down.
Yeah.
And you've got to tell me that it's in the right position so that we can see it.
Okay. Move it down a little bit. Down, 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 down. And then a little bit to your left, left, left. Keep going a little bit more left, 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 left. Okay, we can see it.
Right. Okay. Now I've only done that because I don't want to smudge all the pencil line. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off just putting a little bit of shade in, almost in a circular.
Mr. Keeling, what song are you thinking of at the moment?
Little shop of horrors, watch it drop. You never stop the terror, little shop of horrors. No, oh, no. That one was in my head.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I often find that I'm just singing to myself when I'm not speaking.
Yep, I find that.
But in your head?
Yeah. Mainly I sing out loud, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just keeping it inside mainly.
That's probably for the best.
Although if you do feel like breaking into song, go for it.
Right. Well, I'll give you prior warning.
Do it.
Now, I'm just doing this quite lightly. I'm hoping it's going to work. Okay, then what I'm going to do...
Oh, wow.
I'm going to give it a bit of a smudge.
Smudging works with me. Do you need to wet your finger before you smudge?
No. Just makes it... If you wet your finger, you're going to rip the paper.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, that's all right. You can get carried away with smudging if you're not careful. Well, it looks upside down, but I can see it kind of upside down. I'll turn it round.
Okay.
Whew.
Wow, that honestly is absolutely fantastic. I love it.
Can you see it all?
Yeah, I can see it all perfectly. Do you want to see what I've done? Not anything like as good as yours. In fact, I need to just put the body of that sheet in.
Right, I'm going to turn the camera up the right way.
Okay.
So that I can see everybody.
So good. That is so good.
Whoa. Hello.
Way, Mrs Penn.
I haven't been able to see you.
Well, this Mrs Penn is what I have done.
Oh, that is lovely. Oh, I love your sheep. Look how well you've done the shapes.
Thank you very much.
That one's nice there. Ooh.
And
that is very good, Mr. Jordan.
It is.
You are a budding artist.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's got the right effect. That's lovely.
Brilliant. Let's see your Keeling.
Thumbs up.
Here's mine.
Is Mr. Keeling ready to show us his work?
Oh, wow.
Oh, Mr. Keeling, that's stunning as well. Beautiful.
I like how your sheep have little...
He's even put eyeballs in his. Oh. Sorry, that's my son just coming in. Right, okay. That's great. Right.
I think Mr. Jordan has frozen.
Oh, have I frozen on here?
Oh, no, you're not anymore.
Right then.
That was great, and it was certainly better than I ever thought I was, able. So thank you for that, Mrs. Penn.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope the children enjoyed doing it. I hope you enjoy it, children. Have a go. Be resilient. Stick it out. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
And
can't wait
please,
for our next one.
yeah, send some of your pictures in. I want to see them. Send
Yes,
them
so
to
do I. You know, you can send them
they can pass them on.
any year group address. That would be great.
Yep, brilliant. Okay, bye
All
bye
right.
then.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you later, guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.